Kyrie Irving is one of the best active point guards in the league. He's an all-star, a champion, and a very clutch player. He's also quite a controversial player depending on who you ask. So far as of 2020, Kyrie has played on 3 different teams: the Cavs, Celtics, and Nets. I will rank him in 4 different eras: pre-LeBron Cavs, LeBron-led Cavs, Celtics, and Nets Kyrie Irving, and we will find out which Kyrie Irving was the worst, which was the best, and if he's peaked as a player going forward, or if there's still room to improve. Without further ado, let's begin the ranking.
Okay.
Kyrie Irving spent 6 seasons in Cleveland, and the first 3 were without LeBron. These first 3 were the worst version of Kyrie Irving. Not to say that this or any version of Kyrie is bad in a vacuum, but this was the worst of the best. Obviously, this includes Kyrie's rookie season and his very early career years. In this era, he never made the playoffs or played winning basketball, but he did win Rookie of the Year, a 3-point shootout contest, and became an all-star. If this version of Kyrie made the playoffs or led his team to winning basketball, I actually would have ranked him much higher, considering the lack of talent around him. Coming in 4th place, and this might be the most controversial pick, but I'm going with the current 2020 pre-Kevin Durant Nets Kyrie Irving. Now I know this version of Kyrie Irving averaged the highest points per game, but don't let that hollow number fool you, especially when we factor in everything else. Kyrie only played 20 games this season, and of those 20 games, he only won 8 of them, meaning he lost the other 12. If this were to pan out, he would have not led his team to winning basketball, especially as their number 1 option. And sure, his 27.4 points per game is very impressive, but his usage percentage was also the highest compared to any other year at 32.6%. This is about an increase of 13% when you jump from 28.8 to 32.6. And he did average the most attempts per game in Brooklyn, which is not a bad thing. Besides ball handling, scoring is Kyrie's greatest strength, so he should shoot first and ask questions later. The problem is that this didn't really translate to wins with his 40% win percentage. Coming in 3rd place is Boston Celtics Kyrie Irving. Now on paper, you would without a doubt put this version of Kyrie at number 1. This version of Kyrie has the highest true shooting percentage, highest assists per game in 2018 at almost 7 per game, and was playing winning basketball as the number 1 option. So why do I rank this version of Kyrie lower than the LeBron-led Cavs Kyrie? Quite simply because when you break it down, when you needed this Kyrie the most, he didn't show up. Whether it was health or load management, this Kyrie was simply a regular season box office beauty. Now of course, health is not 100% in Kyrie's control, especially with things like freak accidents. But at some point, building a body strength and durability, plus making smart on-court decisions and a drive to stay on court needs to be factored into things. Kyrie was on the Celtics for 2 seasons and totally missed the playoffs in his first year. And in the second year, he lost bad to the Bucks in the second round in just 5 games. He did average a fair 21 points per game in the playoffs while wearing Celtics green, but he wasn't able to prove that he could make major playoff noise, especially considering the Celtics did better and went further without Kyrie Irving, which does bring us to the next version of Kyrie. Coming in 2nd place is LeBron-led Cavs Kyrie. Yes, this Kyrie is the number 2 option, but this Kyrie is a finals nightmare, a scoring machine, and had Mamba levels of clutch and willingness to stay on the court no matter what. In the finals, Kyrie averaged a legendary 27.1 points per game. To put that into perspective, Kyrie, when he was all alone on the Nets as the number 1 option, averaged roughly the same amount as this version of Kyrie, sharing the ball with 2 other superstars. Now I know some of you are going to say the finals was a very specific scenario. What about the regular season? Well, during the regular season, this Kyrie had the least turnovers and across the board was very close to both the Celtics and Nets Kyrie. Sure, some numbers across the board were slightly smaller down the line, but when you judge the intangibles, I think this Kyrie really makes a case for his spot. Winning the ring is also a big factor, and sure, the ring itself is not the reason why Kyrie claims this spot, but you can't ignore it either, especially considering without his shot of shots in Game 7, there would be no Cavs chip. And one of the main reasons I have this Kyrie at this spot is because how much he was missed on this team. When the Celtics lost Kyrie, you could argue that in a way, the Celtics were better off without him, and Kyrie himself may have been holding back the Brad Stevens system, which could then bring up the argument that Kyrie may have just been a system player in the Celtics in the same way that some people view Isaiah Thomas's success just being part of a Brad Stevens system. Not saying that either player is bad, just saying that there's a difference between a system all-star and a walking all-star. When the Cavs lost Kyrie and LeBron didn't have his Robin, the Cavs really took a hit. They limped into the playoffs at the number 4 spot and almost lost in the first round to the Pacers in a tough 7 games. LeBron did go full on Thanos, but just the fact that he needed that is enough to show how badly Kyrie was missed. And Kyrie not playing in the Celtics 2018 playoffs, in my opinion, hurts his Celtics ranking, as previously explained. And last but not least is first place, and this belongs to the one and only Uncle Drew. There should be no explanation necessary. If you or any young bloods think otherwise, why don't you tell that to Uncle Drew's face and see what happens next yourself? So the ranking goes: early Cavs Kyrie, pre-Kevin Durant, Nets Kyrie Irving, Celtics Kyrie Irving, LeBron Cavs Kyrie, and Uncle Drew. And now for the most important question: has Kyrie Irving peaked? No. The answer is no. No, Kyrie has not peaked. I think the best Kyrie is yet to come. Kyrie is only 27. Physically, I'd say he has at least until 29 or 30 till the hill starts going downward. He's got at least 2 more years to build his basketball IQ and show the world what he can truly be at his best. And his next season with KD making a slow return from his injury, you may argue that Kyrie could be the number 1 option on that team, at least at first as KD warms back up. Hopefully that can be the best version of Kyrie, but only time will tell. So for now, let me know what you think about this current list's ranking. Do you agree or disagree? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe with notifications turned on. I'm Rebound Rewind, and I'll fast forward to you later.